Another example that the sages said is go down a step to take a wife. The Gemara Masechet Yevamot, page 63a. Advising a person to choose a wife that's on a level lower than him. Since the world is built on he will control you type of mentality, he doesn't want to become a stranger in his own house. Take this advice and have a good, in order to have a good life. What does this really mean? In today's world of upside down mentality, people want to marry above and beyond themselves. He wants to marry her because her dad has money. She wants to marry him because he's a doctor. He wants to marry her because her family is politicians. She wants to marry him because they are, upper echelon of society, and so on and so forth. People marry each other for the wrong reason. Needless to say, they get divorced for the right reasons because they shouldn't have been married in the first place. But the problem is that people do not know what marriage is really about. And the Gemara specifically says, if you're going to get married, here's some good advice for you. The same Gemara, Masechet Yevamot, page 63, says, first off, be deliberate when taking a wife. Meaning, think about it, investigate, talk to her, perhaps talk to some people that know who she is, get some references. Meaning the shidduch resume of today is nothing new. Just that it wasn't written back then. It was just simply everybody knew each other, or you knew somebody that knew each other, and you find out who she is. Why? Because if her whole family is full of criminals, it's not exactly a good show. It doesn't necessarily mean she's a criminal too, but again, see what your options are. See what she is. See how far she is from the tree, if at all. Don't be so abrupt. Oh, I need to get married. Let me just get whatever I can. No, take it easy. Yeah, but I need to get married. Yes, you need to get married, but you also don't need to get divorced. So think of what you're doing before you do it. But then it says something completely off left field, which is go down a step and take a wife. Don't marry a woman that's on an upper echelon than you, that's higher than you, meaning she makes more money than you, it's not a good thing. She has a higher place in society than you, not a good thing. She's more accomplished than you, not so good. Well, it says, you can marry her if you want, it's not a good idea. Why? Because the Torah already knows how people are. And people have a tendency to dominate whoever is beneath them. Therefore, if your wife is more accomplished than you, she will want to dominate you, which is abnormal in society. Not today's society of abnormality being the normal, but historically speaking, the woman is not supposed to dominate the house. She's supposed to raise the house, take care of the house, take care of the children. The Gemara calls her house because without her there is no house. She's extremely important and perhaps even more important than the man. The Mashiach is only coming because of the merit of the women, not the merit of the men. But she's not supposed to dominate the husband. She's not supposed to dominate the house. Why? Because that's the way that Hashem created the world. Everybody has their role. She's supposed to raise the kids, make sure that they're taken care of, make sure that they're learning Torah, encourage the husband to go learn Torah. That's why she goes to Gan Eden and so on. But as far as making the rules of the house, it's supposed to be by the man. You're not supposed to move a house because your wife wants to. You should if it's a good place and if it's going to make her happy. But if she wants to move next door to our Abba and Ima in a bad neighborhood or in a place that's pretty much contrary to anything else that's good for you, you can't move there. In fact, it's not good for you to live next to your in-laws anyway, not your parents or her parents. Why? Because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have two more people in your marriage. What do you think? That your parents can hold themselves back from being involved into your house if they could simply be in your house every day? People make the biggest mistake in their life when they say, oh no, we just got married, so we're saving money, so we're living with my in-laws. I said, okay, good luck with your divorce. Good luck with your divorce. Make sure that you have the rabbi's number that wed you, because he probably still wants the business for divorce too. Why? That's what's going to happen. Either divorce or misery. You live in your parents' house, you live in her parents' house, that means you're also married to them. That means you're going to have 2 wives and a husband. Same thing if you live in his house. You live in his parents' house, guess what? You're going to have 2 husbands and a wife. And that wife is Shem Yishmo. The husband's mom, always the worst person on earth. Why? Why didn't you cook for my son? Well, no, he's not home yet. Yeah, but he should be ready when he's home. Okay, I'll go make it. Oh, why are you going to make that? Let me show you how to cook. Who wants that in their life? Who wants that in their life? Now, the mom may as well be the best person on earth. But when it comes to the marriage and taking care of our son, she doesn't think anybody could take care of our son better than her. So she kind of has a little bit of a tiff with the wife because, I raised him for 20, 30 years. What, you took him? Who do you think you are? And it's a little thing. It's not good to live next to you. It's the reality. It's just the reality. That's what the Torah itself says in Sefer Bereshit. Leave the parents' house. Not because they're bad people. They're just not good for your marriage. You go, you visit, they visit, and so on. When time allows and it's appropriate and so on. But the problem is people think, no, because I get along with my parents, because she gets along with my parents, we should live together. Mistake. Many times people make these mistakes also with who they pick to marry. And they pick a woman that's more successful than them. They pick a woman that's on a higher society level than they are. And what ends up happening is before they know it, they become a little puppy. Oh, honey, we're going there, but I don't want to go there. Okay, well, we're going to go there anyway. Yeah, but I got a shiur to go to. Okay, it's fine that you have a shiur, but we're going there because my parents are there, or because my boss is there, or because this is there. You have a wife like that, most likely you're not going to go to Gehinnom. That's what Gemara says. Most likely you're not going to go to Gehinnom. You know why? You're going to live in Gehinnom your whole life. A wife like that is going to be a very difficult wife. Why? She's going to tell you what to do all day. It's not a good life. It's not a good life. It's not a good life. Why? Because you picked her because she has more money than you, she has a more established career than you, and you figure that this is going to be better for me. Gemara says otherwise. You have to pick someone that's, again, lower than you. I'm not talking about go look for in the homeless shelter, go look for anybody that says hi. I'm not saying that. But again, don't be like one of these fools and think, I'm going to marry into money. I'm going to marry because she has money. I'm going to marry because our father's accomplished. Don't do that. If they happen to be fine, but don't look for that stuff. Why? It's a trap. It's a trap that can cause a lot of problems, and I know a few places, a few times. I've had people that I know that made this mistake, thought that they were winning a lotto ticket, and it was the biggest mistake in their life. In one case, the guy was actually pretty successful. He became a lawyer, did well for himself, but his wife that he chose came from a family that has, the amount of money that you could pretty much do whatever you want, planes and helicopters. Even in their wedding didn't allow him to invite whoever he wanted. So no, you only have 50 guests. Yeah, but there's 500 people. Yeah, 500 people, but 50 from your family. They didn't allow him to invite the people he wanted to the wedding. He said, okay, but let us go, whatever, it's just a wedding, who cares, let me just get married. Thinking I'm going to get some of this money anyway, who cares? He didn't realize that he's marrying the father, not the daughter. Every single day the father would come to the house and check and this and torture him. He survived about 2-3 years and then he said, okay, the heck with all of it. Leaving, left the whole thing. Nightmare. But that's what happened. That's what happens. It's many times you have these people that think that they are going to marry into high society, like that's their ticket in. The Gemara tells us it's a very, very bad idea. You could try it, but like it says, it's not a sin to try going against this. It's just not listening to good advice. Now, this brings us to a point of really understanding, who really you should marry. Who really you should marry. Because in today's world, love and lust are synonymous. Most people think that they love the person they're marrying, little do they know, they don't even know what love is yet. They lust, but they think it's love. And for most people, they can actually live an entire life with just lust and no love whatsoever, because they still don't know what it really is. And many times, it's because we're constantly trying to fit into an image that we think society puts us into, and that's how we're supposed to be. There's a famous story that once said that came from Arav Mordechai Eliyahu, alav hashalom, and he said that one time a couple came to him, and the guy was from Tunisia, old Sephardi, and he had a wife for several years, young, tzadikah, tznuah, modest and righteous, doesn't speak much, but they show up to the Rav. Okay, that's it, I've had it with her, I'm leaving her. Why you want to get? Why? No, it's not for me, not for me. What happened? As you would have it, this guy got married, and he said, you know what? I'm going to invite some of my friends to the house, have a nice chafla at the house with some of his friends from work. So he brought his friends from work, and they came, and they had, there's a few beers, and there's a few nuts and peanuts and this and that. And, the friends are looking around, all laughing and this and that. They look around, where's your wife? I said, oh, she's in the room. So they start laughing at him. It's like, what is that, a maid? What happened to your wife? How come your wife is not like with the guys, talking to us and stuff? What kind of wife is this? His wife was a tzadikah. What business does she have hanging out with the guys? She saw he's with his friends. Okay, she went to the room, and that's it. She's praying Tehillim. What are you going to do? Hang out with guys? Not like today's people think, no, if she doesn't hang out with the guys, there's something wrong with her. It's demented. She sees her husband's with some people. Okay, she goes to our room, and that's it. So the guys, who didn't know anything about Torah, they start making fun of him. Would you marry a clean lady? Would you marry a maid? You need to find a nice girl that's going to hang out with us, going to be like one of the boys, this, that. And they really hit home with him. After they left, he said, that's it. I've had it with this one. He goes to the rabbi, he goes, I don't want this one. Comes to Rabbi Yaron Reuven, I don't want this one. Okay. Poor woman, what's she going to do? She's crying over there. What's she going to say? This guy doesn't want me. I did everything right, he doesn't want me. He wants somebody that's from a kibbutz. That's what he wants. So, gives her the get. Not long passes. The friends say, oh, you left her? Chazak u'bo, we're going to find you a girl. They bring him one of these zonot from the kibbutz. Walks around with a tank top. Like one of the guys. Hey. You want a beer? They're one of those people. Yalla, okay, I'm married. Okay, yalla, okay. So they have a friend. Guys, come on. I want to show you my new wife. Come to the house. Yeah. Okay. So the guys come back. All this happening literally within a month. All the guys come to the house. The same thing. There's some peanuts and some beer and some this and that. And the girl, the wife, is sitting over there, like the guys. They have, tank tops on. She has tank tops on. They look like they're drunk. She looks like she's drunk. Everybody's the same thing. Everybody's sitting over there. So the guy that was married to his other first wife for a few years, he's used to, the wife taking care of stuff. Go get her some things. Different little things, help the guest, whatever. But the girl is with them, and everybody's laughing. So he says to his wife, wants to impress the guys, Honey, come on, throw in a couple of burgers, make us fuss. She says to him, what? So who? Says, make me the guys a couple of burgers or maybe something to eat. She looks at him and says, huh? What do you think, I'm a waitress? Go make it yourself. Make me one too. Oh, the guys are laughing, having a ball on this. This guy just told them, ooh, like those guys, ooh, oh, snap, oh, like those guys like to heat up the volcano, oh, like that. That's even 40 years ago, Rabotai. Even 40 years ago, it was Rishaim like this. Oh, we should go, yeah, okay. You know what happened? He said, oh. He starts yelling at her like from Tunis. You don't talk to me like this. Like that. She takes the beer bottle on the right, the beer bottle left. his whole face, head full of blood. They call the cops, they break them up, they call the ambulance, take him to the hospital. His whole face is full of blood, his head is full of blood. He comes back after he's released from the hospital. He comes back to Rav Mordechai Eliyahu with the first wife. He says, Kvod Rav, I want to marry her and I want to divorce the other one. But she said she's not going to listen to me unless you say so. Tzadikah, no one touched her, no one looked at her since she left her. She's allowed to marry her again. But he says, Kvod Rav, the other one, I don't want to be with her anymore. I want to be with this one. I want to be my first wife. I made a mistake. And the girl says, listen, only if the Rav says. So Rav Mordechai Eliyahu sends them to a well-known Rav named Rav Raphael Kavin Tzavan. He was Talmid Chacham and Yirei Shamayim and knew the couple even better, knew the situation better. Go to him. Go talk to him. Whatever he says, I put my blessing on it. So they go to him, they tell him the situation, and Rav Tzavan says, after 2 beer bottles to the head, he learned his lesson. You can marry him. He'll respect you now. He'll take care of you now. Couple of beer bottles to the head, you learn a lesson. But that's the thing. Sometimes guys and girls marry people because of other people. They marry people because of other people, what they look like, or what they do, and what this and that. It's a mistake. It's a very big mistake that people make time and time again because they don't understand that marriage is part of the long marathon in life. Marriage is part of the long marathon in life, and you need this wife, you need this husband in order to get to heaven. If you pick the wrong one, it's going to be very difficult to get there. Because it's very difficult to be righteous when the other person is constantly steering you in the opposite way.
רגע.
אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בלשונות ליבם לטובה ולברכה, שבכל אשר יפנו ישכילו ויצליחו. יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה, הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה, איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
מיאמי.
כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה.